Hey everybody, Robert Van Valkenburgh here with Kenneth Brown from Second Gear Jiu-Jitsu here at Kogen Dojo on a Monday night for Guest Instructor Monday. Thank you very much. Just had an awesome class, some half guard series, some sweeps and back takes and counters to the counters to the counters. So thank you for coming out.
No problem. It's fun.
We try to have guest instructors out every Monday at 8 o'clock. Just try to bring some variety into the school, and Kenneth came highly recommended. Actually, we just rolled a little bit yesterday at the rollathon for suicide awareness at Mike Stewart's school in Columbia, put on by Becca Nieberg and some other good folks. Kenneth helped support that, and Kogen Dojo did as well. So I just had Ken here to talk a little bit about jiu-jitsu, how he got into jiu-jitsu, and kind of what brings him as far as he's come with having his own school and all that kind of stuff. So how did you get started in jiu-jitsu?
Oh man, good question. All right, so I did not want to do jiu-jitsu. I wanted to do Thai boxing, right? Because like at 25, I happened to see like a marathon of the Ultimate Fighter, like the second season with Charlotte Evans and like Joe Daddy and those guys. And like, man, I was like, man, I'm getting older. Like, I've always loved martial arts. So I always like wanted to train, and like, man, I wanted to do it. And so I went out and found a gym, which was Evolve Academy, because they came up when I typed in Maryland Thai boxing. Whoa! And they came up, so I went there, tried class, and I liked it, so I stuck around. But like, they had a jiu-jitsu program, and I was like, man, I don't really want to roll around with it again. I was like, I ain't understand this thing. I was like, I just want to do some Thai boxing, you know? And I did that. I did Thai boxing for a year. But like, when I was in the environment, like, I was seeing the classes, and I was, interacting with people who were doing both, and they was telling me, yeah, man, you should do jiu-jitsu. It's an awesome workout. Right? And at the time, I was also like really heavy. Like, I came in, when I started training, I was like 340, 350. So they was like, man, if you really want to get in shape, you should do jiu-jitsu. I was like, nah, man, I don't want to do it. But then I saw a tournament, because like Evolve at that time was hosting a tournament called Mission to Mission, and like they asked the students who wants to come out and like volunteer to help out. And I thought it was a cool experience, so I tried it. And like, I was just sitting at tables and I was watching people compete. I was like, man, it's kind of cool. Like, my perspective was changed because I saw the competition and I started training. So for me, like, I kind of approached it roundabout. And then when I started training, I competed right after, like 3 months in, and then I was hooked. So for me, like, competition has always been a part of my jiu-jitsu. I always wanted to test myself, and that's how I got into it. Even though that's
No, I mean, that's what we're here for, is to get the scoop. I mean, actually my first exposure to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was watching a tournament too, watching my brother compete. And I had heard him talk about it, and never really knew what it was. I was doing traditional Hapkido at the time for years, and he had been boxing, and then he started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when he was in the Army, and I took him to his first tournament and sat by the side and tried to coach him best I could, not knowing anything about it. And that was kind of my first exposure to it too. Well, so after all these years, like, you've been competing a lot, and I mean, you've been around. So what has made you stick with it? What makes you keep coming back and doing more jiu-jitsu?
Well, I feel like it's an outlet for my natural fascination with problem solving, right? So I originally was in IT, like, before I decided to focus on jiu-jitsu full time. And man, I've always been attracted by trying to figure out solutions to problems. And jiu-jitsu gives me so many problems to explore, right? So that's what keeps me excited about training, because like I said, I was telling a story earlier, man, one of my students just made me reevaluate one of my oldest techniques today. But that's a sight. Like, like I'm a black belt, and like I have a blue belt that asked me the right question and made me reevaluate one of my oldest techniques. So like, wow, like that's the kind of experience that I can always look forward to, because this game is so wide and there's so much to learn and so much to explore. So yeah, that's what keeps me studying.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you are out in Laurel at Second Gear BJJ.
Correct.
And I've always been curious, what made you choose that name for your school?
Well, originally, it was really just a reference to an anime. Yeah. So, if you ever watched One Piece, like Luffy's first power up was second gear, like, and I like the idea of a power up. Right. So second gear to me is the next level of the next level of power, the next stage. Right. So for me, it represents the next stage of jiu-jitsu, right? Because I want to create a new generation of jiu-jitsu, right? So that's my focus, and that's what the idea was originally. Then someone ruined it by telling me that second gear and like automobiles is like stuck in second gear, and like this is when you get stalled, and this is like that's the worst place to be. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I'll take your story.
That's what happens with your problem solving game, though.
Yeah.
You know, if you're stuck in second gear, you gotta work out of it. And the next
There we go. Thanks. You gave me a new one.
And just for those of you that don't know, it's hard for me to turn the camera, but I got Dave in here too. Let me see if I can scoot this back. Squeeze everybody in. Back. Could everybody squeeze in a little bit? It's hard. We're gonna.
I should have grabbed my glasses. I think I could have said what's on the screen.
Yeah.
I can't see nothing.
Oh, now you can't see anything. It's okay.
It's just a blur.
So Dave was saying that analogy of getting stuck in second gear, that it fits along with your problem solving. So you can kind of take either story.
Yeah, I'm still in that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Give me another.
But I love to hear
I never
Jiu-Jitsu.
knew that was based off of One Piece. So that's cool.
Jiu-Jitsu geek stories.
Hey, if you look at our logo, you can see the.
Yeah, you're right.
Nice. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've always been more into anime and comic books than MMA personally. So I'm really glad to hear that story. MMA's never really done it for me, but tonight you were teaching some half guard stuff. You seem to really be into half guard quite a bit.
I mean, I've had the most success with half guard over the years, but I try to explore everything. So, but when especially when I teach like seminars, since I'm most known for half guard stuff, I like to teach half guard stuff. Unless someone asks me like things I'm working on now, because I haven't been working on a lot of half guard lately.
What are you working on now?
Truthfully, I'm working on a lot of passing things. That's what I'm really trying to like pull some holes in the game as far as like passing, and trying to create some systems for it. So, especially some drilling systems for it.
For drilling, passing.
Yeah.
So Kenneth was one of your first instructors,
Yeah,
right?
he was my second black belt. I went to a school that kind of had they had a black belt, and then something happened, and then Ken was the second black belt. And I trained with you for about 2 years there.
No, I would say a year. I was there a year.
Okay, about like a year, and then you split off and went to your gym, and some of my friends went and followed you. And I still pop by your spot every time I'm in Baltimore. Whenever I work in Baltimore, I always go by his place.
Yeah, you have been in those.
Yeah, it's a really nice spot. I highly recommend it if you guys are in the Linfico area or Laurel area.
That's way far.
Yeah, no, I'm
Laurel.
I'm all over the place.
Linfico is like, man.
That's like close to where I work actually.
Linfico is pretty close to here. It's like, it's
Yeah, so Laurel, if you're in the
like
Laurel
15.
area, check out Second Gear Jiu-Jitsu, and he will show you the ropes.
Yeah. And so, what's your address out there?
8730 Cherry Lane.
8730 Cherry Lane. So is that between 197 and Route 1, around that area?
They're 198 and Route
198 and Route 1. Okay. Cool. And it's secondgearbjj.com?
Correct.
Good. So you have any other special events coming up? Or any, I know you sell some online courses that are pretty popular, so how do people find that?
I mean, like I always have my BJJcanvas.com going, and I have a daily email that I send out.
Nice.
Like clockwork. has little tips about the game and little stories about like jiu-jitsu. And then also I always kind of plug my online courses on it. So that happens every day.
What about the players layer? Is that your thing too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is it a
BJJ
little
players
close
layer. Yeah, that's mainly for people who are on my email list.
Okay.
Right. I don't really promote it. I don't invite people to it, but like, I try to answer questions there. Sometimes I give them like special lessons. And then I have of course Facebook. Man, I'm pretty social for the most part. I don't do Twitter though.
So is it like a discussion forum for people who are on your private mail?
Yeah, like they ask me questions and I'll sometimes I'll post like a video to answer it or we'll explore. I need to pick it up more because like sometimes I fall off. I have a lot of different balls that I juggle, especially with around the gym and all kinds of other stuff. So, but I think about jiu-jitsu daily, and I try to share knowledge all the time.
Well, if for somebody just getting into jiu-jitsu or somebody who has been doing jiu-jitsu for a little while, and maybe even a blue belt, what do you think is the most overlooked thing that people should be paying attention to but aren't when they first start doing jiu-jitsu?
You're talking about when they first start?
Yeah, or even you're a year or two in. What is it that you feel like most people ignore that they really shouldn't have ignored when they get into it?
Truthfully, nowadays, like, first of all, I'm an introvert. Well, I was when I started this, and I think that the most beneficial thing someone can do when they first start is build a relationship with their gym, like the teammates in their gym. Like, introduce yourself, or like try to talk to everybody, because what you want is relationships that allow you to ask questions about, hey, when I was in this position, what could I have done better? Or you caught me in this submission, like why did it happen? Or like what did I do that made it easy for you? Right? If you have a relationship with someone, you can ask those questions and they're more likely to help you. So like that's what I always say. It's not a technical answer, but looking back, I wish I had developed more relationships earlier.
Yeah.
Right? But I benefited a lot from the relationship I did have. Like, so for example, when I was a white belt, I was almost always partnered up with one particular upper belt. His name was Tyler, and like we partnered up all the time. So we built a relationship, and I really attribute like a lot of my early success to training with him so much and being able to ask him questions about jiu-jitsu. Right? He was like, I would say, my first mentor in the gym. And that if I didn't have that relationship, I probably wouldn't have progressed the way I did.
Yeah.
So like, that's what I would recommend as like the first thing you should do.
It's a really unintuitive answer that I never would have thought of that, and that's a really good bit of advice. I mean, Dave, you're a blue belt now, and you've been training for a couple of years. So, what is it that you feel like you wish that you had focused on when you first started? That now looking back, that you feel like you would have progressed faster if that would have been your, if you could have set a better goal.
Well, I think personally my problem was just my schedule was all over the place. So I was prioritizing time to train. That was my biggest flaw starting out. That's why I've been a blue belt for 6 years. I feel like it's because my last 3 years of training, I hadn't been able to prioritize the time to train. Since I've been here, since you guys have the schedule with the day and the night classes, it's easier for me to train. But yeah, that's the other thing. Aside from building relationships and finding a good gym with a lot of good people in it that you can connect with on not just a personal level but also a technical level to learn from each other, it's prioritizing time. Those are the two biggest things for me. And also making friends. You gotta make friends. Learn how to laugh at each other, poke fun at each other, and learn from each other.
Good. Nice. Well, I can hear and see Bowie cleaning up in the background, vacuuming up behind us. So it's time to wrap up. Normally we try to do these before class when everybody's kind of still a little bit lively, but this turned out really good. We're getting ready to roll out of here tonight, but I really want to thank you for coming out, Kenneth and Dave.
Dave recommended me.
Yeah, and
I had no idea.
Dave is one of those guys that you're just lucky to have
Thank you.
at the school.
Thank you.
he's a good, friendly person, always willing to help out. And you know, he's good at jiu-jitsu, a good training partner, never trying to hurt
Real
anybody.
flexible.
Real flexible. Yep, never trying to hurt
With
anybody.
my time too.
Yeah, flexible this time too. So, you know, I mean, the thing is, I think what I'm taking away from this a lot is like that jiu-jitsu should be about the relationships that you're building and kind of helping each other get better, not just trying to kill each other on the mats, because at the end of the day, you don't get to be a black belt if you get hurt, you know. And end up off the mat. I mean, you get hurt, but you don't get to be a black belt if you get injured so badly that you have to stop coming in. One of the easiest ways to get injured is to be a mat bully and make people have no sympathy for you when you roll with them.
I feel like your uke, your training partner, is your most dangerous weapon and your most valuable tool.
That's a really good way to put it.
And tap early so you can train later.
Yep. Do you got anything you want to promote really quick before we get off of here?
Man, like, always reach out to me on Facebook or YouTube.
Yeah.
My YouTube channel is this. I just posted a video recently, actually. It was about passing.
Passing guard.
So like last week we worked on over under pass, and I think there's a very specific detail that most people miss, where they're so focused on putting pressure from that shoulder to that belly, like so they drive that shoulder into the guy's belly. They forget about the second pressure point, which is the inside of the thigh. And so I have a video that kind of explores that and shows why you should do it and what you can expect as far as punishment if you don't do it.
So how do people find you on YouTube?
Just type my name.
Just
Like
type in
a
Kenneth Brown on.
Wait, freeze. Let me make an adjustment to that. Kenneth Brown is a super common name.
Yeah.
So like if you type in Kenneth Brown, I think I'm still like pretty high out there as far as like, you know, notable Kenneth Browns. But it's better to say Kenneth Brown BJJ.
Yeah.
Kenneth Brown BJJ on YouTube, and
Yeah.
check out some of that free content, and then head over to bjjcanvas.com and
Link in the description as well.
yeah,
Yeah, all that stuff.
and go in there for the paid content, right? And get lots of value for your money. And then check out Second Gear BJJ. Go if you're out in Laurel, Maryland. Go stop in at Kenneth's school, and if you're in Severna Park, KogenDojo.com, 549 Baltimore Annapolis Boulevard, Columbia and Finksburg, our affiliates under Mike Stewart and Jordan, RealJujitsu.com, and as always, you know, come in and try some classes, meet some new people, build some relationships, and learn something. Thank you for coming out.
All right.